What's going on, guys? It's Brandon again, and today I'm bringing you another War Thunder video. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Me-163 as requested by Kaz Lars. So we're going to be taking a look at the tactics I used while piloting the 163. Now let's go ahead and jump right into this. To start off with, let's take a look at the two important factors of this plane. The first one being the fuel, and the second being the ammo count. The 163 gets 6 minutes of fuel to start off with. A good pilot can usually stretch this from 12 to 15 minutes at most. The way I like to conserve fuel is to climb up to about 6,000 meters or 20,000 feet depending on what your settings are on, and I cut my throttle down to 0, so no fuel is being wasted basically. By the time you are up there and gliding, all the other enemies should be below you because the 163 will basically outclimb all other jets in your game. Now to find the target that I want to attack, usually what I do in the dive, I will cut my throttle down to 0 until the initial chase happens, and I start powering up and chasing them down. Now, any time that you have the opportunity to just glide and no one else is around you, then go ahead and do that and cut your throttle down to 0 so you don't waste your fuel. You want to save it for the important parts of the dogfight. Also, guys, remember to save some fuel for the landing because there's always going to be that one time when a plane's going to swoop down and hit you. Actually, it's going to happen a lot of the time because other jet pilots know that the 163 only carries 6 minutes of fuel, so it's going to be the prime opportunity to strafe you while you're on the runway. So always make sure that you carry some extra fuel with you, or remember to save some fuel with you so you can get an extra boost in case someone's coming down to hit you. That way you at least have a fighting chance to go back at them. Moving on to ammo count, the 163 only has 120 rounds of 30mm Mark 108 cannon, but you can be sure when it hits, your enemies will be blown out of the sky. The main problem why the ammo gets wasted so fast is because a 163 is hard to lead with. The rounds drop so fast that you just can't keep track of them. What I normally do is almost go double to that of what I would normally lead with any other plane. Then just work my way from that point. Also, use short bursts. Rapid firing with 163 really isn't all that needed, only when you're going up against certain planes. Also, really make sure that you utilize the climb rate of the 163. It's among the greatest climbers in the game. It's just got a ridiculous climb rate and loses speed really slowly so it doesn't bleed that energy. As you can see right here in this video, I just climb all the way up to this F-80 and start chasing his ass down. So make sure that you climb up there and you get above them and just keep that height advantage over them like I'm doing right now. So this guy right here, I don't know what he was thinking. He had the opportunity to stay above me and just keep flying level and he would have been fine. But eventually I end up keeping up with them here, and I just get, honestly, if you guys watch a shot, it's pretty lucky. But just make sure you keep the height advantage on them and maintain that energy that you have on them, because eventually they'll end up going back up or something, and you'll end up slightly gaining on them. It'll possibly give you the opportunity to make a good shot on them. And speaking of good shots, the next thing that we're going to move into is attacking bombers. Now, bombers can either be a love-hate relationship with the 163. If you notice on my B-24 video, we all went down low like I was saying. The reason why we go down low is because of the 163. We get down really low because on the initial approach of a 163, the most vulnerable point of the B-24 is when they come in and dive down on top of you. Now when we go treetop level, it makes it hard for them to pull up, so sometimes they might overshoot and hit the ground. So when you're approaching a B-24 from up high, what you normally want to do is dive down on it and hit the tip of it, either wing, left or right wing, it doesn't matter. The tips of the wings are the most vulnerable part of the B-24 because they'll just fall apart like toothpicks. It's ridiculous. So make sure you're always coming down on top of the B-24 or B-17 and hit the tip of their wings. If you can go for engines and you're good at sniping, then good. Go for the engines and knock out the engines and set an engine on fire and make them just blow out of the sky basically. But my number one rule is never come up from behind the bomber. That is what they are made for in this game. When you get behind a bomber and you're just sitting there just torching the thing, just remember you're doing it at your own peril. You're gonna die. So just don't do it. They'll set you on fire and then the fire won't go out and then they'll blow up. I've done it so many times to enemy jets in my B-24. It's uncountable. So just make sure that you never come up behind them, or if you do, disengage really early. You don't want to come up underneath them or come up over them or from the sides because it's just perfect targeting angles for the bombers. Just make sure you always come down from on top of them. Oh, and also, guys, my number one pet peeve in a game is when someone instantly goes for the bomber first. If you can, just leave the bomber for later on. I mean, they aren't causing a big threat right off the bat. Just leave them later as a tasty little snack to take them out of the sky. And just focus on the fighters if you can. Just don't do it. It's a waste of ammo. Save your ammo for the fighters. Also guys, remember when landing, deploy the skid. The 163 does come with a skid. It's basically its landing gear. I think some people forget to do that, but just remember, it does help the landings, and it will prevent you from crashing sometimes. But anyway guys, I think that is it for the 163. Kaz, I hope this video helps you in one way or another, so I hope you enjoyed it. But anyway guys, I really do hope you enjoyed this video. My name's Brandon, and as always, have a nice day.